So I am joined by the jamming man from Amsterdam, Julius Van Sauers. Julius, thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
How have you been in lockdown? Obviously, you did move back to the Netherlands. How has it been over there?
Yes, since the quarantine happened and the lockdown, I went right back to Amsterdam, and actually the first couple of months it was pretty hard because everything was closed, and same for you probably, same as the rest of the world. But the past couple of weeks they've been opening up, and I've been getting into the gym, so I'm really happy about that. But it was it was a crazy transition. It was it never happened before in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely something that's been it's created a lot of uncertainty with everyone. I mean, especially with you having to move from the UK back to your home country. So was that kind of a bit confusing as to where you've got to go?
Yeah, it was
and
just,
stuff?
of course, because we were in the middle of the season, and we were all hoping on playing, the playoffs and finishing up the season because we done so well the entire year. So it was a little bit, it was sad to see the story end a little bit sooner than expected. So it was, I was home a little bit early. It was a little weird, yeah.
Oh, I mean, definitely like the chemistry that you guys had built over the amount of time. I mean, it was definitely enjoyable over like the Christmas break when we were doing all the Christmas calendar stuff. That was really fun. And
we just had a great team, and it was just really nice to be around the guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, it was sad to see it end early.
Definitely. And how strict is the lockdown in the Netherlands? Is it worse, or is it kind of
right now? It's pretty. It's not bad. So I think the bars have opened up, and small events, and let's see, local gyms have opened up, but with restrictions. But it's possible. So I think the basketball gyms have opened up, but the only difference is you need to reserve. Like you have to put a time and place in where you can work out. That's the only thing that is a little annoying. But there is definitely the restriction of 1.5 meters distance everywhere. I think in the public transportation you have to wear a mask. Well, I have my mask right here. I'm always ready to go. So there's a lot possible, but with a lot of restrictions.
Oh, definitely. It is a shame at the current climate that we are in. It's kind of showing that some governments were not ready for it. I know the UK's were not.
No. The UK had way different regulations than the Netherlands.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we were one of the last countries to shut down. So it was too out of hand at the time, and we've only just kind of recovered from it.
Yeah.
So you've managed to get onto a court and put up a few shots then?
Of course, yeah. Actually, the past 2 weeks I've been in the gym every day. I made sure I had my own place and my trainer. So that's been really nice. You only miss things when it's not there. When you go to the gym every day, you're like, shit, I'm going to the gym. When there's no gym, you're like, fuck, I need to get in somewhere. So it's been really nice to get back to work.
Yeah.
And just do my job, honestly. Yeah.
You just gotta train for next season as well.
I have to stay in shape. Work on my game. But before the gyms opened up, I was actually just outside, just getting my runs in. I had a nice little jump rope. I was going crazy, but it's not the same as inside and really working. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same without a ball in your hand and putting up shots.
Even putting up shots outside,
Yeah.
But I've been putting up shots with crazy wind and rain.
Crazy winds that you can only make layups in, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. So when I got back inside with no wind, I was like, oh, hey, I'm actually improving here. I'm doing something right,
You're going to be hitting from Steph range soon with the amount of wind.
Yeah, for sure.
So speaking of Steph, the NBA is set to return. Are you hyped to have some basketball to watch on your screen again?
Yeah, man. Like I'm hyped to see any kind of sports. It's I think a couple of weeks back when there was no NBA yet, I was watching like some Chinese basketball. I was like, yeah, I'm watching anything at this point. But I'm not. I'm really excited to see the league starting up again. I'm just craving something to watch. When I get back from workouts or something, like yo, I want to just chill and watch some sports.
Yeah.
But I've been watching documentaries, anything that has some competition.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, NBA for sure. I can't wait.
Have you managed to catch the Michael Jordan's The Last Dance yet?
Of
Or have
course,
you
I've
watched it multiple
binged it
times?
completely. I was there. I was ready and set, ready to go. No, I've seen it. I've seen all of it. It was really cool.
It was great. It was great to see like the inside behind that season and throughout Jordan's career. And it definitely was. It definitely came at a time where we needed it, especially during
Oh
the
yes,
break.
they definitely played. They were definitely smart with this marketing because they knew that the time frame, the slot was perfect. It
Yeah.
was perfect because everybody was talking about it.
Everyone has the memes of Jordan drinking his own brand of whiskey and his
Yeah,
yellow eyes. So
he looked like he had a very long night.
definitely. So I want to take it back to the beginnings of where it all started for you. What was it like growing up in Amsterdam?
Amsterdam is just it's not really a place for basketball, if that makes sense.
Mm.
As a kid growing up, I did soccer,
Yeah.
and I did fighting sports. I did karate and judo because my dad, he
Oh,
was like, "Oh, you need to do something." And then yeah, basketball is not really a big thing out here. Yeah, it's really stupid. I'm not sure why. We have
it's
so many tall people, so many tall
it's
guys.
the same here. It's the same here.
Yeah, like you,
It's
you
so
go to you go
confusing.
to work or something, or you take you go to school and you see a guy that's like 7 foot, on his bike in a suit. Like, we should play some basketball. But yeah, it's not really a big sport. But one of my classmates from like the lower school, he was playing basketball. He was like, hey, if you want, just join in practice or something. So I joined, and I was actually a natural. And coach was like, hey, man, I'll see you tomorrow, basically. And that's basically how I rolled into it. I played soccer for a few more years. Like I played it simultaneously. And then at one point I got sold to, I was like, you know what? I actually like basketball. This might be something for me. So I started hooping. It was pretty cool. Yeah, it's just, like I said, it's not a big thing. But I didn't know when I was younger, growing up. So the best team, the Netherlands, was actually Amsterdam for a while. They had a big budget. And growing up, I used to go and watch them. They had some ex-NBA players that were a little bit older, but they came and they made good money. But they went bankrupt at one point, and the entire team collapsed and stuff. It was really, yeah, it was a little sad.
Yeah.
So I left around when I was 16. I went to Spain.
Mm.
I got picked up by a team. It was really cool. Got to play dope tournaments, played some really good players. Yeah, I was around 16, went to Spain, Barcelona. Went back to the Netherlands, finished my school, and then I said, you know what? It's time for a new step, and I went to college
Yeah.
for a couple of years.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, the basketball journey that you've been on is quite incredible, and it did lead you over here at some point. But before we get to that, what did it mean getting selected for to represent the Netherlands at the under-18, under
oh
20?
yeah. It was really it started off because I did not get to the national team before I played like on the regional teams. So you have like all the regional teams, they select their players, and then you play against regions and stuff. So it's like, all right, that's cool. I got picked up for this. That's let's see what I can do. And apparently I did pretty well. So I got picked up for the Netherlands as well. So I started under 16s, under 15s actually. We played tournaments, pretty cool. Got my first experience overseas and stuff. Then under 16s, I didn't get picked up for the European Championship, like the U Championship. So I did the entire project over the summer, and then at the last day I got cut. I was like, oh man, I'm sick. I'm sick. Like I was crying. My dad was like, man, it happens, whatever. And yeah, that entire summer, I was like, "Fuck this," you know. Like, I'm getting to work. I'm gonna get on the team next year. So I actually did the same. I was outside shooting every day. Like every day, I was in there. I was working, and my game improved a lot over the years, and I grew really tall. Like at first, I wasn't that tall. I got taller, and then they picked me up for the under 18s. Actually, it was really cool. Really good coach. He's in Germany right now. Really cool coach, high level. That was my first time as a high level, working with a high level coach. Played under 18s my first year. I think we played Yusuf Nurkic, who's with the Nuggets or something right now, Portland. You know, those type of guys were around. It was really cool. And my second year under 18s, I was a captain. So that was a big jump from not being selected to, being a captain. And then under 20s, I played as well. It was really cool. I've been with the national team for a while.
Just shows how you have come in your basketball journey from not really knowing a lot about it and not having that, that basketball knowledge before, and then becoming the captain and elevating your game to kind of where it is now. I mean, after you do make the decision to go to Spain, what kind of what was the thought process in heading out to Spain?
Yeah, well, Spain actually got recruited by this guy. His name is Josep Maria. So Josep Maria is a legend in Spain. He actually played on the Olympic teams for Spain. He played for Barcelona, all these big teams in Spain, right? So he played Michael Jordan and stuff. Like, this guy is crazy what this guy can do. He's known for being one of the best shooters in Spain. So when you look him up, you'll see him he's like 60 years old shooting threes. Like, he's really cool guy. And he actually came to do like a coaching clinic in Amsterdam. So I went to the clinic, trying to improve my game. I was looking for anything. And he was like, "Hey, man, like your game. Like, what are you going to do next season?" I don't know. I guess I'll play. He's like, "You know what? I think we could find something for you in Spain." And with his connections, he brought me over. And I was very fortunate. My family was like, "Hey, you should do this. We can help you out." And we figured it out. I went up there, and I had a chance to work out with him and be on the team, work on my Spanish. Actually, my family pushed me really well, really hard, because I was like, "Yeah, but I have to go to Spain now, and I'll leave Amsterdam. I don't know." But my dad was really supportive, and like I said, we figured it out, and it was a really good and cool journey. Basketball in Spain is, years ahead, light years ahead of probably the Netherlands. So,
did you mentioned picking up the Spanish? How well did you actually manage to learn the language over there?
Yeah, oh my God. At first, I was like, "Oh shit, what is going on here?" But I did Spanish in high school and middle school, whatever. I did classes, but you do not learn a language until you get to the country, I'd say, because then you get thrown into the deep. It's like you have to now really pick up on the language. So I took classes there at the local university. That was really cool, and I actually picked it up after a few months. I would say that I was 95% fluent, definitely. Wow. Yeah. It went pretty quick, but they speak Catalan. You have regular Spanish and Catalan is like a whole different world. So it was a really nice experience.
Well, I was doing my research. I saw that you only played, I mean, maybe was it one game?
So what happened was I played for the junior team because I was only 16 at the time. I played for the junior squad, and then the men's team wanted me to, they picked me up. So I played like one game. Well, I was on the bench for a few games, but he only put me in for one game. And that game I was on, like I made every shot, I think. And I think they wanted me to stay after as well, but I had to finish school and go back home. Oh, yeah, but I was mainly active for the junior squad, and they played on the highest level. They play EuroLeague against Barcelona, Real Madrid. Big teams. We played a EuroLeague tournament against Porzingis. He was there. Mario Hezonja was there. All these big recruits, big talents. So the juniors, that's where I was playing at. And then, the men's team was something on the side.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you did come onto the court, and I think you recorded 16 points in that game. You did play for the men's team, and
Yeah, that
you
was
know,
like my first time with the men's team or something. So I was like, oh, this is cool.
running with the big guns now, and then you do make the decision to come back to Amsterdam. So was school the main reason for
Yeah,
you?
so school was the main reason. I still had to finish my classes. So the team in Barcelona, they wanted me to stay. It's like, hey, we can put you on for the men's team and, keep developing, we want to invest in you. But yeah, I would have to quit school or something. I was like, I'm not sure if I want to do that. So I went back home, finished my school. Um, and I went back playing for the men's team in Amsterdam with a really good coach. I didn't really get a lot of burn, honestly. I got hurt. So that was really a little bit of a setback. And then my second year in Amsterdam, there was a coach from, I think, Estonia, and he was really cool. This guy was, only playing young players, and he was really, he saw my talent, and we went to work that year. It was really cool. And he was actually also part of the men's team, the under 20s for the national team. So he picked me up, and we had a really cool year. And then after that, like I said, I went to college. But it was really the first year was really a little bit of a setback. Imagine going from the NBA to maybe EuroLeague or something. That kind of the comparison, like it's really good, but it's like, oh man, the NBA is there. For me, it was like, oh man, I came from Spain. I come back to the Netherlands. So yeah, it was a little bit of a setback, I believe, but it was also mentally good. It's like, all right, it doesn't matter where I'm at. I have to keep working.
Yeah, definitely. And you did make the jump to, you made the decision to move to Brooklyn, New York, where you went to Long Island University. What was the decision in going there? Did you have any other offers on the table, or was LIU the
Yeah,
place?
so actually the story was they had I'm not sure if you ever heard of the Canarias Basketball Academy.
Yeah.
It's called CBA, so they are in the Canarias. Well, that year when I went back, they actually had the same program in Amsterdam. So they put this whole system up. We took visits to the States. We had college coaches coming to Amsterdam, so it was pretty cool, pretty good for my recruitment. But I picked most of my offers. So I was in Amsterdam for 2 years. So my first year, I took a gap year from school. I finished school and I took a gap year, and I had some offers from schools, but I'm not sure if I like these offers, so let me keep working. Like I said, I took a gap year, and then we went to the States the following year, and we played like these prep schools in New Jersey, New York. Really, really cool, and I actually picked up most of my offers there. So my school, the LIU, they actually called right away. They said, "Yo, we want to see this kid." I had this little tape, and they sent it around, whatever. They called right away. I took an unofficial visit, and they offered right away. So that was really exciting because I drove right into New York. I was like, "Oh, this is cool." Like I never seen a college before. So they offered me, and after they offered, I had I think 3 or 4 more offers right after. But they didn't really, were persistent as LIU. And I was like, yo, LIU is in the middle of New York. So I guess I'll go to LIU. But I had some more offers, yeah.
Yeah. Was that where you like really honed in your craft and kind of, is that where your game, did it evolve like any more than it already had, or
Um,
were you still like the
I
complete
have to
package?
say that basketball in the United States is a little bit different from European basketball. So when I was playing in Europe, I was playing mainly the wing and the guard. And for me, when I went to college, a smaller university, I was one of the taller guys on the team. No, so I had to play like the big guy role. So it was really tough on me. Like I had a tough college career because I was a skinny kid, and they put me at the 4 or 5. I was like, oh, what is this? What is going on? So my last 2 years, it was actually I evolved my game a little bit more. Really get into the gym. I had a really cool coach that came in. Um, so I learned the craft of being a big man and a small guy. It developed my game in different ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but university basketball is way different from European ball. So I definitely had to get used to that. That was definitely it's a big jump for me. That was really, it was pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, definitely. And you must have played with some pretty good talent. Who were some of the better players that you had played with and shared a locker room
Uh,
in your time in Long Island?
yeah, yeah. So No, my first year we had this guy from Iceland. His name is Martin Hermansen. So he plays EuroLeague right now for Alba Berlin. He was really good player. He left after my first year. I think he did great. So he was like, I'm out of here. Another guy was Jerome Frank. I think he actually just signed in Luxembourg. He was what you call it, player of the year, all that stuff. So he was really, I looked up to him mainly my college career. And then we had some really good transfers and a couple of guards that were really good. So we had another kid, Jay Sean Augusto. He was really nice, very quick guard. One of my guys that I came in with, Raekwon, he was actually a walk-on. And as a walk-on, you have to pay to go to school. You're on the team, but, you're on the bottom of the shelf, basically. But he worked his way up, and he actually became the all-time leading scorer last year ever in LIU. So that was really cool. And he was just a really hard worker. He was always in the gym. So I think definitely he was one of the better players as well. And this other guy, I think Ty Flowers, really good. He is like 6'9". He can shoot it. He can run like crazy. So we might see these guys in the NBA. You never know. These guys are really good.
You might turn on the a game in a couple of years' time and be like, I play with every single one of these guys.
Yeah, like all these guys are in the league. One guy, Joel Hernandez, is really good. I think he actually had NBA workouts and stuff, and I think he's in Europe right now. So yeah, really good players, a lot of good guards for sure.
LIU definitely probably produced amazing players, and yourself included in that. From there, you made your Estonian connection back with the scout that.
Yeah. So that's actually a crazy story because that was obviously my first year as a pro. So I came back to Europe working out, and my agent is actually someone who I've played with when I was younger in Amsterdam. He was like my OG basically. So he was like, hey, I got some connections for you. Let's see what we can do. So he actually played in Estonia, which is a pretty good league in that area. So I went there. Really cool coach, an ex-NBA player. He's like this legend over there, Estonian legend. And they did very well the past season. So I was like, okay, that's cool. They're going to start me, whatever. So I went over there. We played a couple of exhibition matches, and we lost all of them. I actually did pretty decent, I believe. But it was crazy because the next practice, the owner came in and started shouting at everybody in Estonian. I have no idea what he was saying. And then they pulled me into the office like, hey, we're looking for somebody else. So just pack your stuff. I was like, okay, that's crazy. So they paid me cash at the airport, and so long. So yeah, it was a crazy journey because I went home. I was like, oh, I was sick. I was like, what's going on? It's my first 2 weeks on the job. I got fired. But I learned after that everybody got fired on that team. The coach left. Several players that were on the same team left. I'm not sure if that was a good situation. The management was just, I don't know.
Maybe out of control.
Very out of control. But so that happened. I was sick, and then actually I got connected to Worcester Wolves. So if I never got fired, I would have never made it to Worcester. So
exactly, and you did. You had a very good time here in Worcester, despite the weather, as we were talking about off camera.
Despite the weather. Yeah.
So, I mean, before we get there, did you manage to pick up or learn any Estonian while you were there, or did you kind of skip out on that?
Well, actually, it was very close to Finland. So all the cute girls came from Finland. I was so short, I didn't get to. There was no time.
Fair enough. How many languages can you actually speak?
So I speak obviously Dutch. That's my first language. Yeah. English. I speak Spanish, and maybe 2 words German because it's so similar to Dutch, and a little bit of Surinamese because that's where my mother's from. She's from South America. So I speak a couple of words of Surinamese.
The ones that are basically telling you off.
Basically.
So you do make the move to the Worcester Wolves. What was it like moving to the UK? like sort of similar to the Netherlands, or is it completely?
Yeah, I mean, the UK is pretty close to the Netherlands, so it's only about an hour flight. You know, I'm used to flying 6 hours or 8 hours to, you know, to New York. So this was really close by. You know, in the UK, you guys speak English, so it's very easy to step in, I'd say. And the Worcester Wolves, they just welcomed me very, you know, with a warm heart and open arms. So it's really cool to come in, despite the weather. The fans are amazing. You know, it's a small town, but it's a vibrant little place. No, actually, I love coming to the UK. I love coming to the UK. I've played there before, and you know, it was a really cool league, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, so really good time.
yeah, I mean, I was there when you were welcomed with open arms in the arena.
Yeah,
It was really great to see you flourish in the environment in the University of Worcester arena. You've mentioned that the weather was probably the least thing that the least favorite thing about it. What was your favorite thing about the UK?
My favorite thing about the UK, well, when I, you know, in regards to Worcester Wolves, I would say the fans. The fans were there every night, you know, basically, um, always supporting us. It was really, I haven't seen that in Amsterdam, honestly. You know, any kind of like, you know, real fan base. That's what I really liked about the team, the club. But I actually like the small town. I've been in a big city for so long. So coming to Worcester, I thought it was like, okay, this is a small town. I'm not sure what to, but I actually enjoyed it a lot. It was a small community, you know, like a small family.
Yeah, it was a small like community, and from what I saw of certain people's social media stories, it was a real tight team that you had, and
Yeah,
I'd see people in like back gardens chilling chilling playing 2K and
yeah, yeah,
sort
yeah.
of that stuff. You were like really tight as a group, and I think that's what kind of made you guys the team that you were last year.
Yeah, definitely. I think that, you know, it was really important to be a family off the court. Um, you know, one guy that I was always with was Martin,
Mm.
because I actually played with Martin on the U teams and
Mm.
played against Martin. So I knew Marty very well. So it was really cool to have him there and just the team come together. You know, that was amazing.
Yeah, definitely, and you amassed a lot of wins in short space of time. I think it's because you all came to Worcester really early. I think you came about September time, and the season wasn't supposed to
Yeah,
start yet.
I think it was only. I think the team already played some exhibition, like some friendly matches before I came, and I think the first game I was there was against the Lions at home,
Yeah,
but I wasn't cleared yet to play, so I was there just being there for the team. But I can get a great feel of for the arena and the fans and the team because I was just there for only a week, you know.
mm.
But yeah, it was really cool. It was just a really dope environment. I really did not expect.
Yeah. How good was it to see like the line of fans that would wait after the games and try
Yeah,
and get pictures?
yeah, it was really always. They were always, like I said, always there, and just to have that support, they backing us up. Always coming up with small gifts or all the kids that came up to see us. That's just really, yeah. I'm not sure what to say. That's really cool. I love that. It's
They were
really nice to be appreciated and have people love you like that.
they were definitely appreciative of the hard work that you put in. Definitely,
Yeah.
you travelled all across the country playing for the Worcester Wolves. What was the best away team to visit? What was the best away city to go to?
The best away, like as in the best atmosphere.
Yeah, like the best to play against. The
Um,
sort of every time that you make a bucket, they start to boo, and you're like, yeah, come on, bring it
uh,
on.
I think that would be Bristol.
Yeah,
I think us and Bristol had like this clash during the season. I'm not sure why, but it was just we would match up with these guys so many times. It was always a physical battle. I think us and Bristol always had a good game. I think.
yeah,
I think it was always their fans hated us, our fans hated Bristol.
yeah.
We met in the Cup finals, and we matched up pretty well. So I think Bristol was definitely they had a very small gym, but the fans were like there. So
Yeah.
no, Bristol definitely, and let me see what other team. Let me think. I think it was the games further away were tough. You know, we were on the road for a couple of hours on the
Yeah.
bus, and then coming off the bus cold and just get to work. That was pretty tough.
Mm. Yeah.
I think Newcastle, for example, was a pretty tough game.
Mm.
Yeah, it was just the teams that were far away.
Well, you mentioned like the big bus journeys. What was your go-to like plan to try and settle yourself on the bus? Was it music or was it just laughing around and getting to know with the guys?
Actually, me and Marty, we had a Nintendo Switch, so we all split. So I just keep my mind off the game for a few. I used to bring a book or something on the road as well, and make sure I eat well. After a couple hours, I had something to look forward to. Like, oh, I'm gonna eat this meal and get ready for the game. Usually food and some games, and I just mess around with the guys. I like to mess around with the guys always. Just ask any of my teammates.
Yeah, definitely. And every time, like I remember coming in for the Christmas calendar shoot, and I remember Martin would always be on his Switch. He would be just in his shorts in the dressing room on his Switch. You
just chilling.
What is your go-to Switch game when you're on the road then?
I think our go-to was Super Smash Bros. I'll still play that game till this day.
You really
and me and Marty play online till this day.
Oh, really? You keep up with the Smash Bros. Who's your go-to character?
Right now I'm playing with Mario.
Yeah.
I play with Mario and I used to play with King K. Yeah, man, I love to play online. Like, I love the Nintendo. So me and Marty just get online and just mess around,
It's fun. Smash Bros is extremely fun. I mean, I played with Captain Falcon. All you hear is Falcon punch. It's so annoying, but it annoys the people you're playing with. So it's a distraction. So it's great.
Yeah. No, it's just we had a lot of off time on the weekends. So Marty used to just come over. We do like movie nights or game nights, or we just game and just hang out. It's just a really good, like just take a day, just keep my mind off things.
Yeah.
But if I was not game, I was actually reading a lot. I was just making sure that I kept my mind busy, learning things.
What's one of your favorite books that you've read over the past year?
Over the past year, I've read a bunch of marketing books. I would not say those are my favorites. But fictional, I would say. I read a new Stephen King, so I like that one. But my favorite was probably Imperium. That's a fictional about the Roman Empire. I'm not gonna bore you with the details. I actually love to read, so I keep my mind busy.
I used to read, but then I was like,
yeah, it's just when you get out of practice and you're hungry, you're tired, you're like, I just want to sleep,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's very hard to just read a book. You're just like, let me just throw on some Netflix.
See, I have a short attention span, so I have a trouble watching films, let alone reading a book.
Yeah. So. I hear you. No, I hear you. But it was just, I felt good. Just, even if it was a podcast or something to listen to instead of music, just for an hour or two.
Yeah.
Just keep my mind busy. Just think not about basketball for a little bit. And then when I get to practice, I'm like, all right, now we can get to work. Instead of like, I'm thinking about practice or, the past game or, that's going to stick in your head for a while. So I think it's very important to just keep your mind healthy that way.
Definitely. And you had the new coach the year before. Ty Shaw was the coach of the Wolves. Matt Newby comes in, does all of his scouting. He picks you. How good of a coach is Matt Newby?
I think Matt is Coach Newby is I think he's a really good coach because he showed up every day. I'm not even gonna lie to you. He was at practice. He showed up, and I think that's one of the hardest things during a long season. It's not about the X's and O's. At one point it's about just showing up and get that work done. And I think he did a really good job of that and just managing the players. And he did a really good job of taking care of us. Make sure people were happy. I think he just did a really good job also off the court. I think that was really important.
Yeah, it looked like he gelled with you a lot. The times I would be at the arena while you guys were practicing, it always seemed like you're always like, again, I'll bring back, it was like a brotherhood almost.
Yeah.
I remember talking to Kofi and Raheem before. It was always that word, the brotherhood. It was such a tight unit that it would you'd hang out, and then it would transfer onto the court, which
Okay.
would just create
Exactly.
chemistry.
Obviously we clash as we basketball players. Sometimes we clash, or we have a tough practice, or it's not always fairy tales. But we did come in as a unit to work, and people will speak up if something was on their mind. So we had a couple of good personalities, just good people on the team to keep us pushing, I think. And I think coach did a good job of trying to manage us, and just like I said, just showing up, just being there. It's not about the X and O's, but hey, let's get to work. Let's get this done. And like I said, I think he just did a really good job of that for sure. But as you said, it was definitely a brotherhood. Definitely, we come to work and pick on each other during practice. Make it hard for each other, because at the end of the day, we know that's what's going to help us win. If we don't work in practice, it's not going to translate to the game. So I think we put very big emphasis on practice. Like, hey, let's make sure we get that work in, work on what we're going to do in the game.
Yeah. I mean, you had you poking fun, and just basically making it make it easier for yourselves to kind of settle in.
Exactly.
What did you think to the extra media stuff that you had to do,
The media stuff.
the
Sometimes
Christmas
it's like,
stuff?
oh man, I'm tired. Like I said, like sometimes you're just tired from practice. Just want to eat and sleep. But I feel like we owed it to the team as well, and the fans. They would love to see some more of us as not just basketball players, but just get to know us more on a deeper level. And I think that it's just important to do media things. And at one point, I didn't mind. Like, I'm going to the gym anyways. We get that done. We have fun together. I always make sure I'm vocal, and we get that done as a team. It's part of the job. But it's also it's fun. I did it in college as well. We do like little media things or like Q&As, and I think that's just fun. It's fun to do, especially at the end of the season. You can look back at it was fun to do, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And what did it feel like dressing up as Santa Claus and doing doing the dunks?
No, I think people had a good laugh. I think we all needed that.
Yeah, I mean, I was running alongside you with the camera. I was like,
Yeah.
I've got to try and speed up here. So that
To
was
catch all of the action.
I mean, you can
No, I
hear me
think
laughing in the background.
I think all these things that we do is just great for the kids. I think we had a really, like I said, a good fan base, and so many kids that love to come and see us. And I think it was just great to do it for the calendar and for the fans.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned that all the fans that will look up to the players that play for their team. I think the fans can also look up to the guys that made them the proudest at the time of the BBL Cup. You did beat Bristol, who in fact you actually didn't lose to Bristol the entire season. So
that's why I said we had this clash.
So they hated you.
Said we can't lose to these guys, man.
I mean, I spoke with their captain Daniel Adozi a couple of weeks ago, about a week ago, and he said, "Yeah, just Worcester again, just constant over and over again. He can't get over it." So how proud did it? What did it mean to you to win that BBL Cup?
The BBL Cup was just. I haven't played a big game in so long. Like in college, I made it to the NCAA finals as well, the tournament and stuff. So it was really cool to play in such a big game and a meaningful game as well. To win in front of our fans, it was just really big time. It felt really great, and there were so many people showing up to the game. I had no idea. I think there was almost about 10,000 people coming to that game.
Yeah.
No, it was a really good experience, and it made it extra sweet to just beat Bristol again, because we were clashing with these guys the entire year. We had tough games against them, and we were like, "Yo, we cannot lose this game to them. We refuse to." We made that pact as a team, and no, it was a really good game, and it was a great atmosphere. It was a really well organized event, and like I said, the fans showed up in big numbers, so it was really cool to to give him that.
Definitely. And what were the celebrations like afterwards? Did Coach Matt get drenched with the Gatorade? Or?
No, I think we all went back to Worcester, for the fans to show up with the cup and just celebrated with them. and of course we had a drink or two.
On the lowdown.
I think we deserved that for sure. Yeah, we celebrated with the entire
Yeah.
game. It was fun. It
I
was
mean,
fun.
if the season carried on, I think that Worcester could have definitely made a playoff, a playoff final push. They were third, coming on second, and sort of like it was getting to a point where this young core of players was, it was amazing to see what this this young crew could do, and it was really testing that you don't just need veterans, but you also need a lot of team chemistry, and that's definitely what went into the season. What were you thinking towards the end of the season before all this Corona happened?
I was really excited to play the championship and the playoffs because we had such a good run throughout the season, and we were all just preparing and getting ready for this this last run, this last sprint. So I felt really good going into that last period. So like I said, it was just so sad to see the season ending. But the chemistry was really good. We were all so hyped. As you said, we had a really young squad of just hungry guys. Like we want to go get this. And I didn't realize that we were so young. Actually, towards the end of the season, I'm like, yo, look at these other guys. They have a couple of vets or like older guys. Like we're really young and we're really doing this. And yeah, we just made that. We made that pact as a group. Like, hey, we don't have any like actual vets, so we all have to chip in. Everybody needs to play their part. That the team asked me as well. Like, hey, we need you here and there. Like, we need you. So we all just chipped in and like I said, played our part and made it work.
You definitely made it work in the last game against the Sheffield Sharks. You came off the bench and absolutely stormed the game. You had, I mean, I remember speaking to Coach Matt after the fact, and he said that you probably had your best game on that game for Worcester. You were finally starting to settle down. Do you think that you could have evolved your game more and adapted more to the British style?
Yeah,
And then
I think the British style is a little bit similar to college. So at first I had a little bit. It was difficult to find my part in the team and find my spot and where do I go exactly. And sometimes my minutes will fluctuate. I start or I come off the bench. But at one point I just was like, yo, it does not matter what I do. When I get on the court, I just need to do my job as the guys asked. And at one point it just felt in the right place. And in the last 4 or 5 games, I felt really good. And I felt comfortable just helping us out.
yeah, I mean, definitely the role player that you are, and definitely a team player for sure, and making sure that you make your minutes count, and you definitely did that towards the end of the season before the lockdown happened. How are you preparing for next year? I mean, is there a lot of uncertainty, or have you had any offers come through that you could talk about? That is.
No, it's obviously I'm working with my agent, to make sure. And but the main thing that he's saying right now is just be patient. Just be patient because, like you said, there's so many uncertainties and teams don't know their budget yet. So it's just a little bit of a waiting game, honestly. But there have been some teams on the table and just considering at this point. But I would love to come back and we have some unfinished business,
Yeah.
honestly.
So will
Like I
Worcester
said,
return?
yeah, I would be happy to come back to Worcester. But there's more teams, and because I had a pretty good season, so they're showing some interest. But for now, it's just waiting, being patient, and let the Corona play out for a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. The uncertainty is definitely a pain for everyone. Really, a lot of jobs that are uncertain, and then definitely the clubs and definitely the wages that the clubs can give out. So, who knows where you might end up next season? I hope to see you back in the University of Worcester Arena. That's for
I
sure.
hope to see you back, man.
Definitely, that would be amazing to see you back. I think all the fans would welcome you back, and I remember Coach Newby said that he would. After speaking to a lot of the guys, they said they'd happily return. So maybe we do get, year 2 of the young core of the Worcester Wolves.
That'll be amazing. Yeah, I spoke to obviously a few fans. They gave me their heart. So they said, the past couple of seasons was just tough to see new faces every year.
Yeah.
People come and go. So they would love to have a team that they could see again, something to look forward to, something that they've already seen us, they know what they're expecting. So I think they would be very happy to see us back.
Definitely. I mean, who knows what, definitely excited for year two. Do you have anything like project wise or any social media that you want to plug while you're here?
Um, no, I'm just I'm just happy to talk with you, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I'll put the links to your social media in the
Yeah,
description.
yeah. Just find
Also,
me. Yeah, just I'm not. I'm only on Instagram, honestly.
yeah,
So I'm on Julius Clay on Instagram, and that's about it. But
the link to that will be on the screen at the
yeah,
moment.
man. So they should find you. This is your thing, man.
I always like to give the love to the guys that are giving me the time and actually doing the interviews. So,
Yeah, no,
uh,
I appreciate that, man.
what would be your biggest highlight of your career so far?
So far, I think the BBL Cup was definitely one of the bigger highlights. That was really cool. I think in college it was the make an appearance in the March Madness, because this was insane. If you think that the BBL Cup was big, this was insane. So it was really cool to play in that. In 2014, I played for the men's team on the national team, and we made the first. We made the European Championship for the first time. You know, we beat the qualifications, so that was really big time. That was a really cool moment in my career. And just winning the championship in college, that was big time as well. And playing EuroLeague, that was amazing. You know, the youth EuroLeague games was really high level. So I definitely had some good spurts, great memories. Yeah, but the BBL Cup was definitely up there. BBL Cup was really cool. I will never forget something like that.
It was an amazing feat, and across your career, you might have had quite a few mentors over the past number of years. Who would you say has like, or this could be a number of people. Who would you say has been like the most integral for your growth and helping you along in your career and also life as well?
Yeah, I think one of my guys that really helped me along the way is one of my mentors. He was actually my mentor at school. So he was my guidance counselor, but he was not just a guidance counselor, like school wise, but he also did basketball. He has his own basketball school. So when I went to Spain, he actually guided me there with the other contact in Spain. He made sure I was all right. And when I came back to school, he figured everything out for me. We've been in touch ever since, been friends ever since. He came to see me in college. It was really cool. So yeah, I love him to death. He actually figured out a gym for me right now during this quarantine. He was like, "Hey man, get you a place to work out." So that's my guy. And Richard James is actually one of my strength coaches from college. So this guy is really cool because he's from Jamaica, and he ran in the Olympics with Usain Bolt, and like he's really cool. He's really he's not only a great athlete, but also a great mentor. So, you know, mental wise and beyond sports, he helped me a lot. You know, recognize a lot of things in my life. Still talk to him to this day. Also love him to death. He's really cool. Um, and he knows a shit ton about sports. He's a specialist. Yeah, if you look him up, Richard James, he will find everything about him. He's amazing. And then I just had a bunch of coaches in the Netherlands that every year they help me set the way a little bit. So there's just too many people to help me, but I like those two guys for now.
If you could talk to 10-year-old Julius Van Sauers, what advice would you give to him?
10-year-old Julius. Fool, that's a long way back. Um, I'll tell him don't quit, man. Just get in that gym. You're not tired.
Get up.
Sometimes I feel sorry for myself, like, oh, I gotta get into the gym. But right now, I'm like, if you think that, you might take it for granted, just being able to play sports, do something that you love, and maybe even get paid for it. So 10-year-old you, I'm telling you, yo, don't stop. You're not tired. Keep going. You'll be fine.
And do you have a final message for your fans out there as well?
Final message for my fans. A final message for my Worcester Wolves fans, man. I just hope that everybody's safe. I hope to see everybody back at one point. I just had so much fun with you guys last year, and I just want to thank everybody for supporting us, being there. Love you guys, man.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for joining me here on the British basketball scene.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, man. This is great.
Absolutely. The one and only, the jamming man from Amsterdam, Julius Van Sauers.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me, bro.